Since we were talking about the zoo, I thought, I should show you a picture not from Walnut Creek, but from the zoo. Now, this photo is really unusual for a number of different reasons. But it's also, hey, check it out. It's also from 2009. It's 10 years ago. But notice the time, 4:25 p.m. Now, that may not seem weird to you, but we've had a zoo pass for decades, and we go to the zoo all the time. And we get there right before the zoo opens, and then you beat the crowds. And you spend a couple hours enjoying the place, and then you leave by the time everybody's flocking to the zoo. So 4:25 p.m., I'm going, what? It must have been nighttime zoo. It must have been when they had extended hours, and we went late so we could stay late. And then I started thinking about other things, and I know there are other images in here that are interesting because I kind of remember this day. But this picture, I remember as clearly as if it were yesterday. My wife and daughter, it's kind of tradition. When we walk into the zoo, we go to the flamingos. Not so much anymore, but geez, for 10 years probably, we'd walk in the zoo and then walk over to the flamingos, and it's like, yeah. They're pink birds, and they stick their heads down and stand on one leg and all this. So while my wife and my daughter are up close watching them, I'm back on the other rail across, the walkway, watching them enjoy the show because my daughter's 10 years younger. She's 22 now. She was 12 then. So wonderful watching, the two most important people in my life. And I remember turning around and looking around, and then I looked down. Notice that this picture is taken straight down almost. I looked down, and there was this plant and this wonderful spiral that's going on. The Fibonacci sequence, if you know anything about that. But I was looking at this going, holy moly, that's beautiful. And I pulled the camera out and I took 2 pictures. And that's all I took. Man, I wish I would have taken dozens because this is just gorgeous. So what do you do with it? Now, this is one of those ones, hey, oh no, Scotchko took another portrait. It's not landscape. Well, who cares? This is different than, the Walnut Creek picture with, the dumpster, because who cares what this looks like? Watch. I can go up to edit. Oh, I'm in the Finder. Here, I'm in Photoshop. No wonder I was lost. Image, rotation, and then I'm going to make this go counterclockwise. Yeah, counterclockwise. Because I want it over here, but I don't want it over here. I want it over here. So I can go image rotation, and then flip canvas horizontal. That's more like it. And then I can get my trusty rectangular marquee, and we still have fixed ratio, 16:9, no feather. Really important you pay attention to that, no feather. Because if this is feathered, all bets are off. So I'm just going to drag from down here. I want to see how much of this picture, if I select from the bottom, if I come up, I want to capture more up here. So I can start hitting the up arrow, but that's so slow. Shift up arrow. This starts moving. Why am I not seeing that dotted line down here? Okay, we got a glitch with the selection tool. So I'll just start right here so we can see this a little more clearly. And then shift up arrow, and the bottom is disappearing again. Okay, there's obviously a glitch that's going on with Photoshop. You would not see this. You would see these marching ants. And I just want to get through this, but I do want to see that right there. Dang. So if I pull this and then go, now look at that. Isn't that weird? So I'm going to start just right there. Remember, tech happens, so you roll with it. I want to capture, and you saw where that was, right there. I'm going to go ahead and say, that's perfect. I'm going to hit Command-J in order to jump that. Hide the bottom layer, bring up trim. Remember image trim? Okay, I'm not gonna waste my time showing you where that is again because I showed you already and you should know. And now I can merge this down, Command E, turn that visibility on, that always helps, Command E, and then Command J, make a new layer, turn it into a smart object, and take it into Camera Raw and have some fun with it. The point here is everyone is looking at the animals. I'm standing behind watching my family and looking around at other people, and I happen to turn around, and the only thing behind me are plants, trees, and then beyond the trees there's some places where you can get some food. But then I happen to look down. Now, how many people look down? Now think about it. I'm not walking trying to figure out where I'm going. There's a bar. I'm prevented from moving in that direction. And this image was sitting there waiting for someone to notice it. And it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to play around with this off screen, but I just wanted to demonstrate to you, and I don't want to skew your mind thinking, oh, I'll look at plants when I'm there. It's not just the plants. There's textures in the concrete. There's the way the whole zoo's constructed. There are interesting things to see almost any direction you look if you have the will to open your mind to what's right in front of you. And now I just remembered this picture I took of a leaf that the sun was cutting through. If I would have come 5 minutes earlier or 5 minutes later, that leaf would not have been electric with the sunlight. Sometimes you just get lucky. And sometimes where you were 10 minutes before, if you were there 10 minutes later, you would have seen something completely different. There's an old saying, you can't step into the same river twice. Well, every moment is brand new. And you never know what was right in front of your face will be utterly transformed simply by shifting light, shifting perceptions. An artist begins to notice the world around them with fresh eyes. That's what I want you guys to start focusing on. Yeah. Learning these skills in Photoshop and Illustrator and all this stuff is important. But more important is your place in the universe. What do you see? What do you recognize? What potential and possibilities do you begin to embrace? The world is alive with wonder and challenges and scary stuff. But what are you going to focus on? I want you to take away from this the thought that when you're doing mundane things, like watching television, pay attention to the composition. Watch how advertisements try to manipulate you. Watch how they film shows. Why did they choose that camera angle? Are they manipulating you? And you guys like a lot of scary movies. Scary movies use the same tricks over and over and over and over. Learn how you're being manipulated. It doesn't ruin movies. Well, it ruins movies for a few weeks, but then you begin to understand the artistry and you have a deeper appreciation of what's going on around you. And speaking of movies, gee whiz, do you know in the current Easter egg that no one has found yet? There's a mention of a movie. And I bet watching that movie will complete a clue. Oh, but I don't want to give away answers. And most kids have stopped listening by now. So you have something that few others have. Congratulations.